hate the way I look. I hate my hair. I'm going to get a hair transplant. So this video is more about the consultation that I had back in August, I believe. The place I'm going to is called Leonard's Hair Transplant Associates in Newton, Massachusetts. So you may be wanting to know why I'm getting a hair transplant. Well, as I said, I hate myself. I don't like the way I look. I want to have more confidence or something. Also, it's for awareness for other people. Pretty much I just want to let other people know that guys actually care about their hair, and losing their hair is really like mentally damaging, or can be for some people, me included. Oh my god, no wonder why I'm getting a hair transplant. Wow, look at that. So there's two different types of hair transplants that I know of. There's FUT, which is what I'm getting, and FUE. So FUT is basically the traditional strip where they cut out from the donor area, and the donor area is an area that's not affected by DHT. DHT is like the chemical that shrinks away your hair growth and makes you go bald, basically, like eats away this area. Like I used to have hair here and whatever. So they take from the donor area, they cut from basically ear to ear from the back, cut out a strip, probably 3/4 of an inch or something like that. Then they suture it close, and then they cut that area, that strip, into sections under a microscope, and then cut that even smaller into little grafts of hairs. Then they poke individual pores and they plant the hairs in, and then the hairs have to go through the hair cycle, so it has to like connect the roots, and you have to take care of it and all that crap, and it falls out and then regrows and whatever. So FUE is basically they shave the back of your head to a small length, I think it's like an inch or something, and they take this machine that goes inside the hairs and takes it out individually, and then they just plant them in the front. You still get a scar with that one. They're just little circle scars everywhere, versus FUT where it's like a linear scar. You know what I mean? Frankenstein, basically. Also, for FUE and FUT, they will shave the back of your head because they don't want the hairs to be too long or whatever, and they're going to shave the back of the head where they're going to work. So FUE, they'll shave more of the back of the head because they need more hairs and, you know, all that. FUT, it's more just that area. So they wanted me to have my hair long so that when they do suture it up, I can just have my hair kind of covering it over it, and it won't be as noticeable. So pros and cons of FUT versus FUE. FUT, you get more hairs, even though they're cutting it out and you have a ugly scar, you get more grafts. FUE, you can only have maybe one hair, one graft, whatever, because it has to fit inside the needle, and it has to be a certain size that they use. That's why I'm doing FUT, because I can get more grafts. More hairs, but you get an ugly scar, versus less amount of hairs, but no scar, in a way. So during my consultation, me and the lady, we discussed different ways that people can keep their hair to see if surgery was right for me versus these other methods. The other methods we talked about was Rogaine, Finasteride / Propecia, laser therapy, and PRP. So for Rogaine, it basically just keeps the hairs you have, or can. For Finasteride and Propecia, it's mostly for the crown regrowth and stabilizer. It's the only true DHT blocker and only works on the crown, really. For laser therapy, the best that they told me was this company called Capillus or something. It's basically a baseball cap that has 312 lasers and 312 RX, whatever that means. Something you wear for about 6 minutes a day. It's FDA approved. It does cost $3,500. It has a warranty, and lasers don't burn out. So apparently it's 95% effectiveness at stabilizing, 60% thicker hairs, or vellus hairs, I think it's called. It's like the baby hairs, the angel hair kind of looking colors. Increases blood flow, all that stuff. So PRP is like platelet enrichment. Basically, it's not a stem cell. They draw your blood, and then they spin your blood into a centrifuge with platelets, growth factors, proteins, collagens. They add something called an A cell into that mix. They numb your head and they inject it with a 1/2 inch inject or needle, whatever. And it helps with the inflammatory response. It does not increase blood flow to the hairs that are damaged. So like, you know, since I don't have blood flow to these hairs anymore, it's not going to increase the blood flow there. It's not going to help that. It's 95% or 90% effective. You have to do 2 treatments, and one treatment is $1,500, so $3,000 for both. Yeah. So for my upcoming surgery, I did have the option to do PRP in the morning right before they even start cutting everything. They'll draw my blood, but I turned that down because the surgeon told me that he would normally do PRP if I was a little bit younger, like when I was 20 again. And so it's not really a good fit for me. So I'm just going to take his word for it because, I mean, it's his job. Now we can talk about costs. So for FUT, this place, Leonard Hair Transplant or Associates, right? For the FUT, they have a flat rate of $9,800, and FUE is $14,500. So I went with FUT because you get more hairs, more grafts, whatever, even though you get the linear scar. And FUE, it's more pricey, and I'd rather have more hairs. Personally, people that say they're embarrassed about the scar, that's their own personal thing, but I don't really think anyone's going to be looking at the back of my head, plus I'll have kind of long hair at the time. So if you have short hair, if you have like the military cut or police officer or whatever, right, or just short hair in general, you'll probably notice the scar if you do FUT. FUE, you'll just have the bump scars like I said before. But yeah, so I'm doing FUT. So after I did my consultation, I had to put down $2,000 for a deposit to cover the surgery day, and I've been paying leading up to my surgery day a few $1,000s every month or so. So right now I only have, I think, like $500 left to pay. So I've been paying it my own way. It's a lot of money saved, but I think it'll be worth it, hopefully. And, you know, I want to be happy. So perfect. I've asked certain questions because, you know, if you're doing a consultation, it's probably good to do your homework and, you know, ask questions and take notes and whatnot. Some of the questions I asked is, if I get a scar, do they offer free scar fixes, scar revisions? They told me they only cover if you get a keloid scar. Do the staff work with the surgeons all the time? Yes, these people are very close, blah, blah, blah. Do they guarantee their work? The doctor told me that, yes, they really do good work. I've checked it out and whatever, and patients and all that other before and after pictures. Still skeptical, but he told me basically with the surgery, you still have to maintain the hair. So you still have to take care of your hairs that you have, because just because they transplant it here and here, you might still bald in other areas, and, you know, just natural progression of balding, if that makes sense. Still have to take care of it. I'm going to probably do the capilla, whatever you pronounce it, cap therapy, and possibly some Finasteride or something. I'll get a prescription or something like that. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to do that because I want to maintain what I have. So other things, recovery is going to take a long time. I think you don't see results until about 6-7 months, roughly a year fully. So it's going to be a lot of recovery. It's kind of like a harder version of maintaining a new tattoo. So after I get my surgery, I can't shower for a little bit. I can't sweat, try not to go in the sunlight, you know, all this maintenance stuff just to keep it, because, you know, say I sleep wrong or have a towel and I'm drying off, I could literally rub out all the hair follicles they put in and just waste basically $10,000 down the drain. So I'm going to be very picky and try to keep as many grafts as possible, because I'm not trying to do that. So for my hair, it's really just the frontal area. I don't have any issues with, you know, back balding. I'm a good donor candidate, because look at all that hair. And I don't have anything back here, you know, the little helicopter pad, as I call it. So for me, I've tried Rogaine, I've tried derma rollers, microneedling, same thing. I've tried, you know, everything you could probably think of. Long hair, cover it up, you know, short hair. I went bald even. And the only reason I had the long hair was because I was going to donate the hair and, you know, the rocker look and all that stuff that I like. And for the balding was mostly just convenience, because I was in the Army and I didn't want to, you know, go to the PX and have a botched haircut all the time. So, and I wanted to make sure I didn't have a weird head if I was going to go bald. So that's nice. I'm just not happy with myself, and so surgery, hair transplant.